This is Brooklyn's Alright if you like saxophones, a public access enlightenment showcasing the atoms that make up the wonderful structure that is our reality. Esoteric artists, tuneful conjurers, wise scribes, and record label tastemakers get a few basic questions to let them bring you in on the who, what, how, when. But you know where, because Brooklyn's alright. Welcome to Brooklyn's Alright. I have with me Alexis Karl of Ondine's Demise and Anima Animus Animal. And we're going to be talking to her about her musical projects. How you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Let's get right into it.
Wonderful.
Tell us how you got involved in music.
Well, music, I've actually been, I sang since I was a little kid. So that was immediately, in my first grade, I was singing and singing and singing. But then if you fast forward to college, I actually studied opera. So I trained in opera during college, during graduate school, after graduate school. I guess altogether, about 12 years, I trained as an opera singer. And basically, I love classical and I love Baroque, and I was really attracted to dark, dramatic music, but I didn't quite feel the classical era was perfect for me, and I let go of music for a little while. I'm a painter as well, and then when I revisited it, I realized I didn't want to do classical. I wanted to create my own music, and so that all started with me, listening to a lot of noise and a lot of ambient noise, dark music, goth, and then seeing how my voice would fit into that, and where my voice would fit in. And I realized I'd have to make my own way for it to fit in. And so that's how it really began for me, with at least this genre of music that I'm doing.
So was Ondine's Demise the first project you started?
No, Anima Animus Animal was actually first. And that was about, I don't remember. I think it wasn't that long ago. It was about 5 years ago, Anima started, so maybe 4. And basically, I had my voice, which is quite dark, as you know, and I was just doing some recordings, and I needed to find a musician, and I was having a hard time finding someone in New York City to work with. Mm-hmm. I was looking for analog synth, specifically, or someone who could really do noise with synth, but I just wasn't involved in that world that I'm involved with now, and I just didn't know all the musicians I know now. And so I actually went on Facebook, and I posted looking for an analog synth musician, and I found a forum in Manchester, UK, and this man wrote me back immediately. I sent a podcast of my voice, and he wrote back with a piece, like a 10-minute piece, and said, "I wrote this for your voice last night. Do you like it?" And I'm really into ideas of hybrid creatures and transformation and time travel. Like, I write, I do science fiction, and so all these elements are really important to me. And the first thing I heard was an overlaying of tigers growling, and then it went into this dark noise piece, and I was like, oh my god, it was amazing. It was amazing, yeah. And then I recorded my voice the next night, and then it was basically took like 2 more days, and we became a band.
An established project.
And we hadn't met each other until we actually performed together in Italy. Like, we never met.
Really?
Yeah, when we
How long was it till that show?
It was probably about 8 months, 8 or 9 months.
So you had collaborated all that time?
We did a whole album. And he mastered it, and we just Skyped, and we felt like we met. I mean, we became really close. It's like family. And the moment we met the day we were going to perform. Right. And it was like I'd known him forever. It's Paul Ashton.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's how Anima started.
Tell me about some of the releases of Anima Animus Animal.
Well, the first release is Be Deathless, and it's actually more gothic operatic or ambient gothic. It goes both ways, but it's my more operatic voice, and I'm stretching it a lot. It's going from really, really dark tonalities to quite high, like my old soprano days, and then plummeting all the way back down to like a male bass as far as I can go. I'm growling in it. My voice, it's just a lot of vocal acrobatic, but it's also all the lyrics I wrote in a pastiche of different ancient languages. which I thought actually Adele you would really appreciate. So there's whole phrases that are mixtures of Sanskrit, Portuguese, Italian, and the like. So I created my own language, and then the Be Deathless story is basically a creature, a woman that transforms into a creature, and then the creature transforms into a sort of goddess, and then she becomes ethereal and part of the universe. So it's kind of a science fiction journey.
So is that the only release?
No, that's the first release.
Okay.
Then we did, what was it called? Midnight Mask. It was an epic vampire poem written by, I'm sorry I forgot the name at the moment, but a Manchester poet. And then we set that to music and I recited. And I just did some vocal, musical work on an era, a part of it, but mostly it's just spoken word. And we just put out an EP called Tales of a Hollow Heart, and that's with Unudo, and that's really.
It's a split.
It's just 4 songs.
Oh.
So it's really, and we're working on a larger album right now, and a few of those songs are going to be on that album. So it's a little bit of a preview of what's going on now with us, and because it's changed quite a bit. So I have the vocal operatics, but then they changed in some of the songs, and it's not there. We have more of a driving beat rather than just an ambient noise, kind of drone or experimental.
Which one do you think is your favorite release?
Oh my gosh, that's so hard. You know, there's songs in the release that are my favorite. So, M. Chabje Changé is one of my favorite songs I've ever done, and that was from Be Deathless, the first song, and it's just really dramatic, and it just reaches every part of me. It's the first song, yeah. It was so important to me. Tales of a Hollow Heart. I think my favorite it's called Kohoro Kor, which means hollow heart. And I wrote for my father, who passed away. So I actually wrote it when he was really sick, and it's just a very beautiful, sad piece. And I wrote it for him, and so I think that's probably the most important song for me.
Personal.
Out of the Animas thus far, yeah, it's really personal. They're all quite personal.
So tell us about your other project, Ondine's Demise.
So Ondine's Demise, I actually have a family member, Farah Bad. Her last name is Badreva, so it's Farah Bad. And she is my bandmate for that piece, or rather that project. And Ondine's Demise is different. It's really different than Anima in that vocally, especially, I've lost the vocal operatics. I've really let them go, and I found another voice that I didn't really know I had, where it's just some of it's like very heartrending. Okay. I feel like there's just a different vocal quality that I'm able to really access for this. She is a master at beats. She just does these phenomenal, beautiful beats and really gorgeous distortions and overlaying. And she's young. She's just incredible. She's just a real vibrance to what she's doing, and a real freshness to it. I feel, and so this kind of driving beat that is always pushing the music. And a lot of the music is about, it's very poetic. So a lot of the lyrics, the rambling lyrics are mine, like they're super poetic. Okay. And they kind of go into these epic things. And
a lot of it has to do with water, right?
Yeah, a lot of it. Well, Undine is a water spirit. So Undine's kind of like the first mermaid. So it's really a lot, especially the first pieces that we did were really all about the oceanic lore and scorned water spirits, and a lot about ghosts and just these ethereal ideas. And now it's changing a little bit, but I think basically we're into magic, water, and water, fire, magic, all the elements.
Speaking of some of the releases, tell us some of Ondine's Demise releases.
Ondine's Demise, we have our first EP is out, and that's called Into the Deep, which is perfect. So that's the only release we have. Well, no, actually, that's the only larger release. It's 4 pieces, but some of them are a little longer. And we have a single called Lilith, which is probably one of my favorite songs ever I've done. It's a real driving beat, and it's very. And for me to sing it, it's extremely difficult to sing.
Really?
It just is a hard piece, and I get to really wail on it, which for me as a singer is like, it's just like candy, you know. And we put out a piece that I'm particularly proud of. It's called Wandering One, and that's a collaboration with iDeviant in the UK. So they're in Manchester as well, and we did this piece remotely with them, and it's just a very long piece. It's very dark.
So it's a collaboration with them.
It's a collaboration. It features them, and their singer is he's got the darkest, sexiest voice, and the orchestration is just gorgeous. It's really beautiful. And then all of Undine's Demise is actually produced by my Anima music partner, Paul Ashton. Yeah, so he does all this brilliant mastering for us. I feel like we always tell him, like, please give us your magic, because he ties everything in and really strings it together. It's interesting because it becomes collaborative because of that, because of working with him.
Right.
You know, it's not just sending off to someone and saying, please make it sound good.
Right.
You know, he's so involved
He
with
also
us.
understands and...
He knows my voice like no one in
Right.
the world. And we're actually going away and going out of town and meeting him in another country with Farah, and we're doing a recording session next week. You know, just all working finally, the three of us together in the same room.
Cool. I look forward to hearing.
Thank you.
So tell me, what does the future hold in store for Alexis Karl?
For me, or as a singer, or as a band?
Anything.
There's so much. Well, musically, Undine's Demise, we're finishing our full album, as well as finishing a full album with Anima Animas Animal. We're also doing a new video with Anima Animas Animal with the director Chris Marston, who filmed our first video. He's a genius, and so that's going to be really exciting. It's going to be influenced by Dada films and Maya Deren as well. So I'm hoping to actually embody Maya Deren for a little bit. And then that's really musically what's going on.
You also work with perfume, correct?
I am. I'm a perfumer.
Tell me a little bit about that real quick.
I do. Well, I'm a perfumer. I have my own line called Scent by Alexis, and I also have a shared line called House of Cherry Bomb. And we do all these really interesting fragrance classes based on contemporary art. Well, actually, all art. So we just did a Matisse and art class, Matisse and the color of scent class, and we did a fragrance and ritual and ancient Egypt class, and you know, it's basically anything you can think of. We're teaching language of art and the language of scent, and basically how to use scent as a medium, artistic medium. So,
I'm very interested.
Yeah, well, you could take one. You would smell wonderful. That's what I'm doing.
I'd like to thank Alexis Karl for coming on.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful.
Let's take a look at some of her work. let's take a look at some of the bands that are making the rounds.
Hard to make words.
Hope to see you out on the streets of Brooklyn.